So I'm getting ready to watch episode 20 of Death Note, and it's been about 2 weeks since the last time I did a reaction video. Like, I scheduled them to come out, while I was out of town and on my vacation and everything. But you can see, I think my beard is just a little bit fluffier than it was in the previous video, so you can tell some time has gone by. I'm enjoying my summer off, between jobs. And I'm ready to get back into the swing of watching Death Note. I rewatched episode 19 earlier today just to kind of refresh my memory, and now it's time to jump into episode 20. It looks like we've got a new OP here, and I was kind of wondering when the new OP would show up, and my goodness, this one goes hard. This OP definitely goes hard with this like screamo, shoutcore kind of music here. And my son told me he used to watch Death Note, and then when they changed the OP to the new OP, he quit watching it. And I thought that's kind of a weird reason to stop watching something because you don't like the new OP. But this is a pretty abrupt change. And it's only my first time watching it, and I got my own taste in music and such. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I think I like this hardcore OP better than the original OP. And also, I don't think I would ever stop watching a show just because the OP can add a dimension to it. But if I don't like the OP, I can still just kind of like sit through it until the show gets started. And also, of course, during the OP, I do like to remind everybody that I do have a Patreon now. And I know a lot of you are already members of the Patreon, and I appreciate that. But, if you want to check it out and see what's going on over there, maybe consider being a Patreon supporter yourself. Well, there is a link in the video description. Makeshift is the name of this episode. So I wonder what exactly the makeshift is going to be. And of course, we're back in that boardroom with the corporate Kira, and let's see what happens. The Yatsuba group. Alright, figuring out who to kill next. We had Matsuda's daring escape last time. We had to fake his own death, jumping off of a ledge and barely sliding through like a window below. Kind of want to see. I kind of am waiting for a little bit more to happen here. I'm waiting for this corporate Kira storyline to kick into just a slightly higher gear. And I'm also really curious about like this thief and this con man, this kind of Ocean's 11 caper crew that they pulled in. Like, when are they going to really get going? Because they kind of teased the lady at the end of the last episode in her like burglar cat suit up on the roof. And of course, we got this second detective who's been hired to try to discover the identity of L. So, I guess we do have multiple layers of things going on. I'm still just waiting to like get a better grip on this corporate Kira situation. I want to see them in action a little bit and try to figure out, have a little game or try to figure out exactly which member of the board has the Death Note. Yeah, so they're a little bit slow, like they're just now thinking L could catch on to them, but of course we know L's been onto him for a while. And I guess Coil is that other detective they hired, or they're considering hiring or whatever. I think it's good. They're slowing the pace of their killing. And I do find it interesting that they approach this Death Note situation at a board roundtable instead of the person who has the Death Note just taking charge. Because, Kira wouldn't be very apt to want to listen to anyone else because you have that ultimate power over life and death in your hand. But yeah, laying low for a little bit. Makes sense, but it's a little too late. Like, the cat's out of the bag at this point. So, you're in it. Like, you're in the contest now with Light and L. Kind of interesting, too, trying to, like, dominate the stock market or whatever through murder. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but corporate organizations, like, I don't know how many people do you have to kill at a rival corporation to, like, make your value surpass theirs or whatever it is they're trying to do here. I have to admit, I don't quite understand, like, Wall Street business type stuff very well. I'll tell you what, L Sweet Tooth is impressive. The guy is eating cake and pie and ice cream and I don't know, it looked like a sugar cube with chocolate sauce on it. The guy has an impressive sweet tooth there. Like, I like, my sweets from time to time, but I think I'd get pretty sick to my stomach trying to eat the pure sugary concoctions to the level that L seems to be able to. Look at all those! Are those marshmallows or sugar cubes? I think those are actually marshmallows. I thought they were sugar cubes before, but So his idea is to just sit back and watch a few people die? This is interesting now. It almost feels a little bit of hypocrisy if not for the amnesia that we know Light has in this situation. But for Light to be upset about standing back and letting Kira kill is kind of, like, boy, isn't that fresh? That's like an old-fashioned way to say that. Yeah, this ELF insurance. I'm picturing like elf insurance, like Keebler elves that sell insurance. Oh, so they're going to call somebody on the phone and try to stop the murders? Is this going to work? Or is it just going to get him killed? I understand where L's coming from here. Like, I totally don't think it's ethical or moral to just stand back and watch people die if you can prevent it. But I also understand where L is like, we can't let him know we're on to him. We're going to have to let some bad things happen so we can really narrow this down and not let Kira escape, figure out exactly which one of them it is, etc. And this idea about needing proof. You got plenty of proof. They're admitting it on camera here. But I don't think Kira is among those 7. I just think he's responding to the wishes of those 7. Ooh, are they going to try to kill all 7 people in the boardroom? Oh. Oh. Light is going to borrow the name L? Yeah, all seem to have narrowed it down to one person who seems in control here with that boardroom. 7 and 1 missing. I guess Hattori, the one who died, is the one who's missing. Oh, so they called the... I thought the guy with the long hair... I mean, he looks like he'd fit in on Attack on Titan, to be honest, the way he's drawn, the way he looks there. But I thought he looked like the creepy one of the group. Like, if I were going to bet on who I thought was Kira, it would have been this guy. Of course, I've been wrong so many times playing guessing games with anime. So this is interesting. I don't exactly know what Light is accomplishing here by just straight up telling him that we know everything you're doing and we're watching. Like, I don't know what he's trying to accomplish here by outing themselves and outing their surveillance to this guy. Okay, so he's trying to get cooperation to catch other people? I don't know. It's like he's trying to cut a deal. And it also looks like what the deal is, don't kill him for 1 month. So maybe he's thinking, we'll get this all wrapped up before a month and the guy won't die. But yeah, the guy with the long hair there, he definitely feels like he's pinned in the corner. And I always get the idea that, like, corporate greed people are just rats. You know, like, they'll flee this ship as soon as it's sinking. They're only looking out for themselves. So it's easy for me to believe that this guy could very quickly be convinced to turn traitor against his fellow board members to cover his own hide and his own skin. I mean, those are my own biases that I'm bringing into this story. But I'd imagine the creator has some of those same biases as well. But getting him to join in that battle between L and Kira. So, yeah, that was easy. They won that guy over, Namikawa. Oh, man, but Baldy McSpectacles over there looks like a tough customer. I still laugh when I see ELF. I'm sure you're supposed to say ELF, but I say ELF. Ooh. I like this. He's telling him we got a month. We got a month, so he's playing both sides of this game here. Which, you know, that fits my biases towards that kind of character. Man, just like everybody, they want to kill L. But they need the eyes, the Shinigami eyes to kill L. Ryazaki. I kind of wonder how the Death Note works. Like, I feel like I probably asked this in my first review video, but that feels like it was forever ago now. But, like, if you go to the courthouse and legally change your name, is it your new legal name that works with the Death Note, or is it your name you were given at birth, or did both of them suddenly work? Like, I wonder if there's a way to outsmart the Death Note by changing your name every so often. And I don't mean just giving a fake name, I mean legally changing your name. Oh, he's already telling Light he could pass along that L name, which is interesting because they already have that alliteration, sort of. Oh, wow. So is Light kind of like doing a little bit of a honeypot kind of game here? Or is he being sincere? When he's telling Light that you're a better deductive reasoner than I am, I don't know if he's telling the truth, if he really believes that, if he's suffering some self-doubt, or if he's playing some kind of mind game with Light. I don't know. It's gotten to the point where I can't take anything at face value on this show. Oh, wow, and it was telling us that the Shinigami's Death Note cannot be written on by a human, like there has to be different Death Notes here. Okay, now I don't quite know this thought process going on with Light and L here. Okay, so he's processing the fact that Light still is somewhat of a suspect to L, I guess. But I've kind of moved way beyond that at this point. But he even seemed to have figured out or acknowledged that perhaps having no memory being Kira is a possibility there. Yeah, that chain is still linking them together. I mean, there's just so much evidence pointing towards Light because Light was Kira for the longest time. But now that he's not, like, how does the world deal with that? How does L deal with that? How does Light deal with that? How do we as the viewers deal with that? Yeah, he's even talking about a plan to get rid of the Death Note and then have it come back to him once he's escaped suspicion. Oh, I like this. He seems to be thinking through L's thought process about saying, I'll pass on the moniker of L to you, and then you'll become Kira, and then you'll never hunt yourself down, etc. I do like this, where L is just hearing Light express everything that he's thinking and just how much in sync their minds are. Great concept of these two great young minds, first working against one another, then sort of together, but still not trusting each other, and then trying to just dissect every detail of the other one's thought process. This is awesome. The audacity! I mean, the amnesia gives him an excuse for saying something like that, but knowing that Light was the original Kira makes that just seem to have so much audacity when he says, do I look like the kind of person to do that? And here they are punching and kicking again. I thought you moved beyond this, guys. Thought you guys moved beyond this. There's nothing like being chained together with somebody you're fighting against. That would be rough. Seems like something out of a Mad Max movie. Yeah, they got a month to figure it out. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. The same thing this guy's saying. Nobody there is without guilt, so just lock all 7 of them up and see what happens. I mean, if we're going to talk about collateral damage and allowing people to die to solve the problem, I might not have a problem with just go in and, exterminate all 7 of these board members. Because, like I said, none of them are without guilt. They all know what's going on. See, I'm kind of thinking what L is suggesting here is that the 7 have the new Kira, the corporate Kira, working for them, but he's not one of these 7 at the round table. That's kind of my feeling. But we did see the guy in the suit with the fountain pen writing in it, so who knows? I like more mystery being introduced. And, at the beginning of the episode, I asked for a little bit more intrigue with the corporate Kira, and I got what I asked for. The show never fails to deliver when I really feel like I need something. It feels like the pulse of what I'm looking for and seems to give it to me. And I like this. They're showing us that L is becoming a bit of an obsessive personality. I mean, you can already tell he's not what you would call neurotypical when you look at the way he sits, the way he thinks, the way he eats, the way he operates. But here we're starting to see that his real goal is his obsession with solving the mystery and not necessarily doing good or preventing bad from happening. And this kind of obsession driving a hero or an anti-hero or a pseudo-hero or an anti-villain, however you want to classify it, that's a kind of a wonderful technique or trope you can see in storytelling that I never get tired of. I like the idea of being obsessed with the answer as being more important than actually accomplishing a goal. I still think they could have a few comedic scenes about going to the bathroom with those chains on them and stuff. Like, how do you take a bath when you're chained to a guy? She's gonna go on a kinky date. A kinky date with two guys that are handcuffed together. Now, this is some action she didn't sign up for, right? Oh, wow. Putting her on the spot. You gotta choose between Light or Kira, the barefooted, creepy dude. I'll tell you what, when L is creepy and weird, he really does a good job of being creepy and weird. Yeah, he does not fit in mainstream society, does he? I like this. She's all with Light. If Light and Kira are at odds with one another, she picks Light's side, even though, you know, she's still got some bit of respect or admiration for Kira. He's going to get his con man to pretend to be Coil and tell them that she knows who L is. Oh, this is a great plan. This is a great plan to undermine them all. Okay, so it's good for her career. You're going to use this to get her to do commercials, but what else are they going to get her to do? Oh, I like this. Light actually doesn't want Miss Amani in danger. This version of Light seems to have a little more human decency than the Kira incarnation did. He's worried they might try to torture her to get the identity. She says she's ready for torture. Poor Amani. Poor Misa Misa. She really needs, like, to appreciate herself for who she is a little bit more and to learn that life is worth living alone and you don't need to just totally devalue yourself in favor of others. She should not externalize her values for a guy like Light, who isn't that great of a guy. Doesn't treat her with respect for the most part. I like this. We're going to work together, not out of a common desire for victory, but out of a common need for self-preservation. And it's a nice way to pressure Misa here. Misa. Amani. Well, Light seems to have some... Is she going to fall in love with Light? We're going to get a weird handcuff chain... handcuff chain love triangle where nobody really loves Miss Amani, Misa. But she loves both of them. Oh, she gave him a smooch. I wonder if he's ever had a smooch before. Okay, no love triangle. She's making that clear. Although the love triangle may come from L's side of things. I don't think he's ever been kissed upon the cheek before. This seems to have a major... The three of them ringing around the rosy or whatever there. Dancing around the posy. She's way into this. Way more, like, upbeat about it than the others. It'd be interesting if there's just a whole team of, like, 8 Misa personalities on this. That would be kind of funny to watch. You know, like, nobody takes them seriously, funny to watch, but then they're, like, awesome at everything they try to do. I'm sure there are anime out there like that, right? Like the cute, underestimated pretty girls that actually are incredibly competent at what they're doing. Kind of a Legally Blonde sort of situation. Still trying to earn love. Love should be unconditional when it's really there, right? It's not something you necessarily earn. I mean, you got to respect it. You can't mistreat it. You can't take advantage of it. But the idea of earning it is unhealthy. All right. End of the episode. Good one. I wanted to know a little bit more about this corporate storyline. I wanted that intrigue to get turned up a little bit. Wanted to really start getting my claws into that. And that's what they gave me this episode. Can't complain. Had a lot of fun with that dynamic between Light and L being handcuffed together. And then with, you know, Miss Amani, Misa, and L kind of reconciling their differences. That makes a new interesting twist here in this weird super team of the three of them. Working for all kinds of various goals, but it's kind of fun. I'm going to enjoy seeing what they can do together, what they can accomplish, where the story goes. And I'm proud of you for watching anime. and I'll talk to you again soon.
I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. It really means a lot to me. If you might be interested in Patreon perks like early access to videos, uncut reaction videos, ad-free videos, and the opportunity to vote on which anime will be covered in the future, then click on the link in the video description. Thank you.